Hi everybody and welcome back to Nellie Ruth Designs. I thought I would do a quick little video and show you what I recently purchased. I'm not going to show you the Daphne's diary, because this is all over YouTube and I don't need to do another flip through. Um, there's a lot of gals out there that have this up. So if you're on YouTube and you want to see the inside of this, um, just Google or search Daphne's Diary. And this one is November. Oh my gosh. This is November. See, why do I keep saying November? This is number 3, 2023. So you could always search that out and take a look through it. I'm going to be working in this using some of the interior images in my paper crafting, so you'll get to see it then as well. So this magazine here, GreenCraft, I'd love to have you stick around and take a look at this. I am new to this magazine, or I should say this magazine is new to me. I feel very dyslexic tonight. I don't know what is going on with my speech, but I don't know. I've got a full belly. It's after dinner. I made 2 homemade pizzas tonight, which were yummy. I made a plain and a pepperoni. So I don't know. Maybe I have one of those food comas going on and my brain just isn't thinking that well. Not that it thinks well any other day. But I'd love to have you stick around to take a look at this, especially if you're not familiar with this magazine. I just found it. I did not even know it existed. I was down at my local Barnes and Noble. What day was it? Oh, I don't know. I think it was this past Saturday, after we dropped my husband's granddaughter, or my step granddaughter, off to a graduation party. And then she's moving on to see her other relatives on her mom's side. So, of course, I had to go into Barnes and Noble and take a look at the magazines. And I found this. I did want to find a magazine to craft with. This cover caught my eye, and I just fell in love with this image here. Not crazy about the price. In the States, it's $15.99. But I thought, what the heck? If I were to buy, I had to reason it out in my mind, but if I were to buy, say, 3 or 4 digital junk journal kits, I would have spent the same thing over at Etsy. And this is just, I really like using the magazines, and there's some really nice articles in here on things that you can upcycle and use and make. But I want to show you how I'm going to use this. So the front cover here obviously has, I'd love to use this image here, even if I cut it down or I just cut these out, these little cans. These are pressed cans or whatever. But so let's get into it. This is put out by Stampington and Company. Well, wait a minute. This says In Her Garden. So that's by Stampington. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is Stampington and Company. And I did look at this magazine as well. In Her Garden. They had that there. And this one I think was a little bit more. This is a beautiful magazine. And there's some really lovely, you can see these are the images that are in there. And I thought for a gardening journal, these would be nice. But I didn't know if I wanted to have all the girls in my journal. There's a lot of women in it, and I just didn't want all of them in my journal. But there are some pretty, the papers in here are very, these are a little shiny in this one, which I don't mind. These are more rustic in her garden, this issue here. It's much more rustic and like natural paper, which I was drawn to. But I looked at this one and I could just definitely use the images and the papers much, much more in this magazine here. So here's another side profile of the item, the craft on the front. And again, you can, cut this out. You could line this up, put it on the side of your journal. A lot of these images are quite large, so I also want to use these on my scrapbooking, my 12 by 12 scrapbooking pages, because I think these would just be really pretty in a book. And then there's a lot of articles I'm going to show you, we'll talk about as well. I just find that this is a very useful magazine. So I've gone through and I've read what what I felt was the most interesting to me. And I'm going to try to figure out a way to keep some of this intact and use what I want. But just for instance, like if you look at a magazine like this, I wanted to also tell you, some different things that you could do. You could cut this chair out here with the bag. All right, if you have this all cut out, or you could just, make a cute little tag or a journaling card out of it. And you could take a Tim Holtz, one of his little paper dolls or his people figures, one that is sitting with their legs crossed possibly, and you could have them sitting right here on the chair. And then you could make a little tiny slit here, and then you could have flowers coming up out of this. I want to do that. This book, I definitely want to make a new gardening journal, and I thought these would be really pretty. A lot of these images to go in it. These two are also, these are coasters, wooden coasters. This would be a nice image to cut out here. Or again, use the entire, what's this, like a 4x4, and make a journaling card out of that, or a tag. And then here's the larger image that, the article is about. This I could definitely put on a scrapbooking page. This is what, 11, I think it's 11 by 8.5. So this would be fine on a 12 by 12 page. And this one here, I also like it. In some of these magazines, you can look for a play on words, like usually say, oh, she's in a bad mood, but this is in a bag mood, which I thought was kind of cute. And then it just tells you here the technique on, how to dress up a thrift store bag. This is a macrame feather tutorial. They say macrame feather tutorial on YouTube. So you might want to look that up. That might be kind of fun to make, even for your junk journal. So it's a macrame feather tutorial. And then on this page here, upcycled apothecary jars for herbs and spices. And this is a page that you could really do a lot with, either in your journal or scrapbook page. And when I saw the tall page here, I immediately thought of Carol Laws, because Carol makes those really tall journals, and all her pages are the tall and narrow. And a page like this would be pretty in there. Or if you didn't want to put a page like this from a magazine, you could cut this image out, maybe this one, and put in your journal. So this is 9 inches, and it is about 3 inches wide. I'd go 3 1/4, but that would fit in a tall journal similar to like Carol makes. This here, you could cut out the this looks like lamb's tongue or lamb's ear. At first I thought it was basil, but I don't think it's It's not basil because it has a fuzzy feel to it. And then they have some lavender and some little roses. So you could fussy cut that out and put that on a card, or just as an accent on one of your pages. And again, these are fun. If you open this up a little bit more to get right down into that seam, there is a good section of the jar that shows here. And again, you could get your Tim Holtz paper dowels and have them sitting or standing on the top of the jars. That'd be a cute idea. And then the only thing that, you're going to have to decide on is, like, this is a nice item to use, an image, but again, it's on the back side of this. So you'd have to really decide what you would want to use. There's one similar to this over here. So without the label, I think that's the same jar without the label, or just turned around. You could always use this one. And you could cut out these little name and date tags that they've made for the jars. You could use them as some little ephemera. And then this one here, coasting along with wool. I thought this was a really cute craft. And Becca does all kinds of, all I can think of is Willow Hill. Becca, I'm sorry, I can't remember isn't that awful? I told you I'm having let's see, because I want to tell you about some of these gals too. So Becca is over, Willow Hill Design. So if you haven't followed Becca over at Willow Hill Designs, and I'll list the gals, people that I mention in my description. But Becca does amazing handwork, and she makes quilts, and she participates in Roxy's creations, all of her stitchery. I think it's Roxy's creation of stitchery or something like that. But she does phenomenal work, and this would be something cute you could make, Becca, with your leftover quilting scraps and stuff. This is wool. It's Scottish wool, and I believe I've only read part of the article, but I think she puts like a little layer in between, and then looks like this is a blanket stitch. She'll just do a blanket stitch around, and then you have some coasters. But this image here would be quite cute. This could be fun in a surreal collage. You could have somebody diving in, or you could make a little slit. You could have a seal popping up out through there, or something, a whale, or have a whale tail coming out of it. So there's, you can look at magazines different ways, either for your journaling, scrapbooking, or collage art. This here, again, this would be cute to cut out here, and you could have another little paper dowel sitting on here, or I don't know, you could it would be cute if you could find a face out of a magazine and cut a slit in here, and then just have the eyeballs, have the top of the head poking out with the eyeballs there. So they're kind of like buried in here, but they're poking out. These you could cut out again, and you could put these on the background of a journaling card, and you could do a real pretty collage around these. And then it's a date, gift tags, and this whole article is about making gift tags, bookmarks, and such out of old weekly planners. Because sometimes, your weekly planners really do have some very pretty images in them. And if you don't want to save them, don't throw them away, cut them up and use them. This is about cinnamon and coffee natural dye. And then 10 clever ways to reuse old picture frames, which is very interesting. So that was a fun article. And these would be a lot of fun too. You could cut these out and put these in your on your journaling pages. Tiny treasures, mini kettles crafted from recycled cans. And this Cindy, I think you pronounce it Fortin. Cindy Fortin. She has a few different articles in here of things she does. And I just thought these were so cool. Of course, I wouldn't have the patience to do it, but I think she just works, this gal works with aluminum cans. You'll see a little bit further back in the magazine her other work, but these are very, very cool. And then again, these would be, if you needed 3 of something in a collage, if you create larger collages, that would be something cool to use. And even in here, again, you could do a fun little thing in your journal, something popping out of here. And then brown bagging it, recycled gift wraps. This is a really pretty page. And you could actually cut this out here, take the candles out, or you could leave the candles in. You could just make a slit and you could make this into a journaling pocket, and you could put your tag or journaling card, you know, so it looks like the candles are behind it. You could slip that right down inside. This is going to be a fun magazine to craft with. Clutching a bunch of flowers. That is a really cute title. And again, you could cut this out. This could be a pocket in your journal. And then you could also cut, you could fussy cut these floral images out, and you could have these on the top of a journal page in the bottom. And then here's another, the clutch, the other, I guess the back side of the clutch, or this clutch. I don't know if it's a clutch or, yeah, it's an upcycled clutch. So they obviously bought this and then they just remodeled it, which is always fun to do. Yeah. And Christmas in July, that's not my style. I'm not crazy about that. These felted wool Christmas trees. Says felted wool Christmas trees from Love Sweaters. I thought this was a really cute idea, but I don't know. I don't think I like to give my clothes away. We have a place here in town, North Country Ministries, and then we have Catholic Charities. So I try to take all of my items to those 2 places, but I guess maybe if you found some sweaters at a garage sale, you could do this. And this tells you, you know, how much wool. This is 90 to 100% wool, but I don't know anything about felting. So I don't know why you'd have to felt these if they're wool sweaters already. I don't know. I have no idea. And then branching out, this is just about hanging your sunglasses on a stick. This, when I open the magazine, I don't know about you, but when I go to a shop and I open a magazine, I always start in the middle. And then I kind of thumb through it, you know, to the front like this. And then I take it and I go back a little bit more. I don't know why I do that. I've always done it. So when I picked this magazine up and I opened it, this was the page that I opened it, and I loved this image, and I just think this would be a really pretty page. I'd like to put this in my scrapbook with one of my mom's photos next to it. I just think this is really, really pretty. And then this is another image you could use, another picture that could go in the book. And then puzzling pendant. Again, these flowers here, you could fussy cut these out and put in a book, or you could kind of use these to frame a photo. That would be pretty to do. I'd really like to do some of this stuff and show you for my scrapbook pages, but I don't know if anybody still scrapbooks out of there, or, if it's still a thing. I know it is for some gals, and I did have one woman, just make a comment that she'd like to see some of my scrapbook pages, but I just don't get, I don't have the interest that I thought I might have. So I don't know. I'm on the fence about showing, scrapbook ideas. I guess if I did, you could take them and kind of downsize them for your journaling pages. I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. So if anybody wants to see some scrapbooking, wants to see me create some scrapbooking pictures with my old family photos, like my mom's, the old ones, the black and white ones back from the 1920s, I can do that, which would be kind of nice because I'm, working on something that I like, and I'm also sharing it and actually getting something done. On a page like this, what I like to do, because I like the colors and the textures, I have these little, oh gosh, what do you call them? Just little, well, this is a 4x6 picture frame. This is my son buys magic cards, and sometimes they come in these little plastic folders. So he'll give these to me. And these are my templates for a journaling card or something. So you could always take something like this. Say if I wanted a 4x6. I hope it's not too glary on you. I can cut it down and see where I might like to have a journaling card. Oh, I don't want my phone to be going off. And then you can collage or do whatever you want around that. So here's a smaller one. If I wanted to have a smaller one, I hope you can see that. It's kind of glary at my end, so I don't know what it's doing for you. But it's a good way to figure out how you might like to make a card, or like this up here would be kind of fun just to make a small card with this on it. And then you could, collage and do whatever you wanted to around that. So don't think you can't use pages like this, because you certainly can. I mean, even if you had something like this and you wanted to make a little journaling page, you could put that there, and then you'd have a little bit of this here, and then you could either write over here, okay, or you could, do some more embellishing by adding flowers or whatever. So you're only limited by your imagination. This idea I thought was very cute. This is titled All Bottled Up. And what this gal did here was take these old vintage bottles, and I guess they don't have to be old vintage ones. You could find anything. Grab a cork, and then you can see the little, I call these J hooks. I don't know if that's what you call them. I call them J hooks. And you screw it up into the cork. And then if you have like a favorite necklace from your mom or your grandmother or your aunt, and you don't say it's not your style, but you just want to have a nice memory of them, something you don't want to wear, they have it looped around this J hook, and it's displayed in these bottles. And these would be really pretty on a shelf. I think they're very, very pretty. And here's another example of this page here. This would make a very pretty journaling card if you cut that out. And then these here could be, so if you had a little journaling, if you use this as a journaling card, then you could have these as little accent pieces on the page over like this here on this side. You could use that. If you did a little travel page, you could use the suitcase. Even this here, if you cut this out here and put it on the right side of your journal, there's an awful lot of things that you can do. Containers to avoid for DIY candles. And this I found very interesting. Clay flower pots and unglazed ceramic containers. Do not use either one of those, okay? Because the materials are porous. Clay and ceramic might actually absorb the wax, which can result in fire. which I never even thought about that. But that's something really good to know. Okay, all natural pressed flowered coasters. These would be pretty. Again, if you did them individually in your journal, or if you took all three, cut them out, and you put them on your scrapbook page. Say if you went on a nature walk, or, you know, my old photos where I hiked all the time, that would be very pretty. Any of these on those pages. Because I was even thinking, you know, something like this, if you use something like this, or you garden, you want to make a note, or you had a garden party, or you had a graduation party, a wedding reception, or an anniversary, and you had it outdoors or whatever. You know, you could cut this out, put a nice photo with it, and then you could put the date of the party, you know, like our anniversary party, June 27th, you know, 2020. That would be a really nice idea. Or if you lost a loved one who enjoyed nature, hiking, just being outdoors in the garden, going for walks, you know, with the dog, you could put this next to the photo on your scrapbooking page or in your journal, and you could put, you know, in memory of, and you could put their year of birth and year of death, and you could put that there with their photo. So these are cute little things that you could do a lot with. Noteworthy gift wrap. Again, you could make a little journaling card out of that, or a pocket. You could use that book up there. This here, you could cut out and use. This would be a really cute journaling card, because not only could you cut this out, okay, cut the blue, looks like they've got some sort of ribbon here. But if you cut this out, and then I would back this part here with something more substantial. And then I would put this in my journaling book. Then I would take maybe some real sari silk, and I would kind of maybe get some really fine thread and wrap the thread around this, possibly something that would work and hold this. Or maybe just if you got a thin ribbon like this, you could just glue the ribbon on, make it crinkly, kind of have it come up over and around so you still saw this here, okay? And you could tie it. You could do it in pieces just like this, but you could replicate it. That would be very cute. And then you could just adhere it to the page, and then you could do your little, you could even come down a little bit right here, make a cut. Well, you wouldn't even really need to make a cut, because this would be up, and then you'd have your little pocket, and you could put your little tag or whatever inside there and still have this little top. Sealed with a stamp. And this again would make a cute little pocket. You could use the whole page. You could cut the book out. You could, if you wanted to, just use this down here with the envelope, or just the envelope alone. And then here is the smashed tin can planner. And again, there's quite a few things on this page that you could use. You know, you could, if you want to put this in, if you're a scrapbooker, you could cut this out, because this would fit. This is only 8 by, well, the board itself is about 3 1/4. That's 5. Leaf to leaf, that's 6. So you could put, again, you could put this on your scrapbooking page with a couple nice photos next to it. But then you have the cup with the spoons. You could cut that out. The colander, you wouldn't be able to salvage the colander unless you had it. You cut all of this. This would have to come out. You could cut you could have a photo like this, maybe a kitchen photo or something, so you could still show a little bit of the colander. And you could use this. This looks like a honey pot down here. That looks like a honey stick or something. Or maybe it's, oh, that's a spoon. Maybe that's a sugar bowl. But you could use that. And then you have these images over here you could use. You have this here. And then you have that one there. Which again, you could just cut, I would just cut these out and use these some way. And I'd have flowers or whatever, vines coming down over them. So there's a lot there that you could use. Fruitless to fruitful bag. You could do something with these, maybe in a collage or some pockets. The fruit you could definitely use. They'd be fun in a collage. Put a pin on it. Plant markers. This is a cute idea. Your clothespins. And then you just put your, that's very cute, that idea. You put the names of them on and then you attach them to the pot. But something like this again, if you wanted to make a tag, you know, you could get your acrylic thing here and you could just kind of look around. This would be kind of cute if you had it like this and you showed the lip of the pot, all right, and you'd bring that over. And then again, you could have maybe a Tim Holtz. We brought it this way. You could have a Tim Holtz figure sitting on here and maybe one standing on this side of the pot. There's a lot of things that you could do with this page as well. Wings of tin. These are, I think, old tin containers, and they made them into the a journal cover. I think they're just plain paper journals inside. And I really like this one. This is a crocheted. It looks like crocheted with the beads in it. And this just reminds me of a rosary, an old rosary. And I really like that. Maybe just because the cross is attached to that. But these are really cute. And then printing towels with fruit and acrylic paint, which I don't know if I would do. Bookmark. Here's fabric bookmark, and this looks like it's just a piece of cardboard, and they've wound the material around it. But again, this would be a fun tag. And here again, you could punch it. You would reinforce this, and then you could put a real tassel on there. Repurposing cloth napkins. These might be kind of fun for if you're going to do a decoupage journaling card or something. That would be interesting. You just find points of interest to use. So maybe we can make some of those. Papa style jewelry. This is glass jar. Again, okay, bagged and bundled packaging. Again, you could use these separately, or you could make some really pretty tags using those. Natural dyes. This would be a cute little tag if you just cut this one section out right here. And then you could embellish, maybe put some vintage girls on there or whatever. And then this here quilted purse. That would be very cute to cut out and put on a page, along with these tulips. These are plastic tulips. Another little bag. And all of these here as well, these little magazines that they show you, you can, if there's nothing on the other side that you want to use, you can cut these out and use these the same as you use your little tags here. So if you wanted to cut something out like this, you could make a little side collage You know, you could add a little label like that. You could always add a flower. I don't have any flowers in here. But just say hypothetically, do I have anything that might go with that? Maybe not. But, you know, you could do something. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say here. But you could maybe add a flower up here, and you just have another little embellishment to use. So don't rule out, this here is where they have clothes hanging. Don't rule out using these little squares as well. This would be cute to cut out and use as a journaling card. These hands, if you do larger collages, you could cut these hands out and use that in a collage. These are made out of soda cans, these bracelets, and alcohol ink. I don't know if I'd want to. I wouldn't have the patience to do that. Here's corn husk embroidery, which is kind of cool. And again, these would make pretty, really pretty journaling cards. You could cut these up. But these, the only embroidery I really see is these look like they're hooked down with wires. But I don't really see any embroidery. I'll have to read the article. That's pretty. That would be really pretty cut up, used in a journal. This would be lovely, fussy cut out, and again, put a photo with that. Here's that Cindy Fortin again. These are soda can pumpkins. Those are really cool. So she must have an art studio, and she makes all them. These leaves are made out of copper. So obviously she made these leaves. Yeah, she made these leaves as well. So she must work just with metals, which are really cute. See, she does. Here's her soda can earrings. That's her again. And then again, in the back of the book, they have the smaller versions of the magazines. And they would be really cute to use as a little something, something. And then you can cut these out as well. And then that is it. And then again, you have a smaller image here that you could use, and then a smaller image here and here. So that is my new magazine. And that's all the fun little things that you could do inside. And I'll definitely look for this magazine each month because I love the photography in here and all that it has to offer and all different things that I can use on my pages. You know, just something. I love my digital images, but I just love putting little extra things in here that I really like. And it's a nice way if you have a magazine, you know, to make yourself a journal or a notebook, or even if you have a daily planner, you can put a lot of these things in your daily planner. And then that way you get to see them more often. I love buying magazines, but, you know, I look at them and I'll look at them and look at them. And then they kind of get tossed to the side and I forget about them and then they just sit there. So that is it. That is GreenCraft Magazine. I hope you liked this issue, and I hope I gave you some ideas. If you have one of these magazines, what you can do with it if you're looking to do some paper crafting. And that's it. So I think I've said that's it about 80 gazillion times because I'm tired and I'm going to go watch some TV with my son. He's got us hooked on an anime series. So I'm going to go watch that. And I'm going to get this little video uploaded. And I thank you. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you are enjoying your summer between the raindrops and the high humidity. And you are getting outside to do some fun projects, or at least swimming or going to the beach or camping or doing something. So yeah, if you like this video, I would love to have you give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. And I want to thank all my returning viewers and my wonderful subscribers. I appreciate you all, and I will see you in my next video. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.